All right, let's dive right into a UEFA Nations League match that has everyone buzzing Serbia upsetting Switzerland. We're going to break it down and see why analysts are so captivated by this one.
What's really got people talking is how Serbia, the underdog in many people's eyes, completely outmaneuvered a possession-heavy team like Switzerland. It was a tactical masterclass, really.
Yeah, it's fascinating how one match can spark so much debate. Just to set the scene, this wasn't just any game, right? We're talking crucial points in the UEFA Nations League, so the pressure was definitely on.
Absolutely, the stakes were incredibly high, and it showed from the first whistle. What's interesting, tactically speaking, is how Serbia, despite not being the favorites, completely outmaneuvered a very good Swiss team.
Right. And from what I've seen, the Serbia's game plan was all about a rock-solid defense and then those lightning-fast transitions. Was it really as simple as park the bus and counter, or was there more to it?
Well, there's definitely more nuance than that. They set up in a 3-5-2 formation, which was crucial. 3 center backs, almost like a wall, 2 wing backs ready to defend and attack, and then those 3 midfielders, incredibly disciplined, just in front of the defense.
So they weren't just passive. They were actively shutting down those passing lanes that Switzerland usually dominates, right?
Exactly. Switzerland thrives on building from the back with short, crisp passes. But Grujic, Lukic, and Ilic, that Serbian midfield trio, they were like watchdogs, cutting off those passing lanes and forcing Switzerland into those long balls that Serbia's defenders could deal with easily.
So they made Switzerland play a game that played right into Serbia's hands, it sounds like. But you need more than just a solid defense to win. So let's talk about Serbia's attacking players, because I hear they were pretty impressive too.
Oh, absolutely. Up front, they had Dusan Vlahovic and Lazar Smarjic. Those two were electric. Vlahovic, with his size and strength, he was a constant threat to the Swiss defense, holding up the ball, winning those aerial duels, always looking to make runs in behind.
Sounds like a nightmare for any defender to deal with. What about Samardzic, though? What made her so important?
Well, while Vlahovic provided the physical presence, Samardzic was the creative spark. He was everywhere, linking up the play, finding space, and, crucially, delivering those killer passes that unlocked the Swiss defense. Their partnership, it was a masterclass in contrasting styles, complementing each other perfectly.
Sounds like Serbia found that ideal balance between being defensively sound and dangerous in attack, which is never easy, especially against a team like Switzerland. But before we get into how those tactics actually played out on the pitch, let's talk about Switzerland's approach going into this.
Switzerland is famous for their possession-based football. They usually go with a 4-2-3-1 formation, which gives them numerical superiority in the midfield, right, where they like to control the tempo and flow of the game.
And they've got some serious talent to make that system work. You can't talk about Switzerland without mentioning players like Embolo and Mduni up front, right?
You're absolutely right. Embolo with his pace and power, and Mduni, known for his dribbling skills and eye for goal. They were the ones tasked with breaking down that Serbian defense. And then in midfield, they had the experience and quality of Zakaria and Freuler, 2 players who are so comfortable dictating the tempo and picking out those passes that can unlock a defense.
So at least on paper, Switzerland had more than enough to unlock even the toughest defenses. It seems like we had a real clash of styles brewing here. Serbia's organized defense against Switzerland's possession-based approach. What a tactical battle this must have been. Wow, it sounds like a real clash of styles, a true tactical battle.
It was, and that's why this match is so interesting, especially for anyone who loves analyzing tactics.
So take us inside the stadium. What was the atmosphere like as these two teams clashed?
Well, that first half was tense, a real struggle for control.
Oh, I bet.
Switzerland had most of the possession, as expected, trying to find a way through Serbia's defense, but Serbia were always ready to counter.
Like a chess match, each side waiting for the other to slip up.
Exactly. And that tension in the stadium, you could feel it. Like one goal would change everything.
So when did that moment come? When did things start going Serbia's way?
Early in the second half, a moment of brilliance from Serbia, real tactical awareness. Samardzic, who'd been kind of quiet in the first half, suddenly comes alive, picks up the ball, and with this perfectly weighted pass, sends Vlahovic clean through.
Wow, what a pass. What a moment for a young player like that.
It was like the Swiss defense just parted. And Vlahovic, so cool, slots it past the keeper.
1-0 Serbia, and the momentum shifts completely, I imagine.
Completely. Switzerland had to chase the game now, take more risks, push men forward, and that left those gaps that Serbia were waiting for.
It's amazing how one moment, one counterattack can change a whole game plan.
That's the beauty of it, right? A well-drilled counterattacking team is always dangerous, and Switzerland, for all their possession, couldn't quite handle it.
So it wasn't just the goal itself, but how it forced Switzerland to play differently.
Precisely. Serbia never panicked. Stuck to their plan, stayed compact, waited for those chances on the break.
And what about Switzerland? Did they find a way back into it?
They tried, but Serbia, with the lead, seemed even stronger defensively, winning everything.
Like they knew they could win it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They rode their luck a bit. Rajkovic made some big saves.
But that's what good teams do, find a way.
Absolutely. Serbia deserved that win. They had their plan, executed it, got the points.
It's certainly got people talking, and I'm sure there's lots of analysis going on. What are some of the key takeaways you've seen?
For Serbia, lots of praise for their discipline, organization, that ability to absorb pressure and hit back. Pundits impressed with the young guys, Vlahovic, Samardzic, they really stepped up.
It's always great to see that. Young players shining on the big stage.
For sure. And for Switzerland, some criticism that inability to break Serbia down, the vulnerability, the counterattack.
Anyone in particular?
Alexander Frey, former Swiss international, he was vocal, said Switzerland were too predictable, lacked a plan B when Serbia sat deep.
Always interesting to hear from former players. They know the pressure.
Right, and Frey knows his tactics. He made some good points. Switzerland, for all their possession, didn't create many clear chances.
So lots for both teams to think about.
Definitely. And of course, the coaches, what did they make of it all?
Yeah, let's hear from them. Get those post-match reactions. We've heard from the pundits and the coaches themselves. But now let's put on our analytical hats and really break down what made this match so fascinating.
Now you're talking, this is where it gets really interesting.
Yeah.
We talked about Serbia's defensive strength, those quick transitions, but how did they manage to completely shut down Switzerland, who are usually so dominant?
Exactly. Switzerland is known for controlling the game with their possession-based style. How did Serbia turn that strength into a weakness?
It's all about understanding the risks and rewards of that possession-based style. Switzerland loves to build from the back, passing, moving, creating opportunities, but it can come at a cost, especially against a team like Serbia, who are happy to sit back and wait for the counter.
So it's like they were setting a trap.
Exactly. Serbia realized that by staying compact in that 3-5-2, they could force Switzerland into those predictable passes right in front of them, limiting their chances.
So whatever Switzerland tried, Serbia had an answer for.
They did. And their aerial dominance was huge, especially in defense Switzerland. When they couldn't break Serbia down, they often resorted to crosses. But Serbia's center backs, they won everything in the air. Milinkovic especially, he was immense, winning header after header.
It's those little battles, those inches, that can decide a game.
Absolutely. And it wasn't just their defending, it was how quickly they transitioned from defense to attack Switzerland's high defensive line, designed to win the ball high up. It became a real problem against a team as fast as Serbia on the break.
Yeah, that high line, it's risky. If it goes wrong, you're vulnerable.
Exactly. And Serbia exploited that brilliantly. They'd win the ball, one pass would bypass the press, and suddenly Vlahovic or Samardzic were in behind, running at goal.
A masterclass in counterattacking. And against a team like Switzerland, who are known for their organization, it's even more impressive.
It showed you what can happen when you have a plan, you understand your opponent, and you have the players to carry it out.
And that goal early in the second half, you could feel the momentum shift. Serbia were energized. Switzerland started to doubt themselves.
Momentum is massive in football. Once Serbia had that lead, they never looked back. They defended even harder. Their counters were even more dangerous. They rode that wave.
This has been an amazing deep dive, really eye-opening. It just shows you, in football, anything is possible with the right tactics, the right mentality, and a bit of individual brilliance.
Absolutely. Football is all about adapting, thinking ahead, finding those little edges. And sometimes it's in those moments of tactical genius, those perfectly executed plans, that you see just how beautiful this game can be.
Couldn't put it better myself. Serbia showed everyone how to dismantle a possession-based team. We'll be talking about this one for a long time. That's it for this deep dive into Serbia's tactical masterclass. We'll catch you next time on The Deep Dive.